Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. So if you are new here, I'm excited to have you. My name is Ashley. My husband and I have been married for 22 years. We have 6 kids, 2 of which are special needs that came into our family through international adoption. And our YouTube channel, we're just really getting started, so we're still trying to find a good routine on uploading videos, but typically we just want to kind of share our lives. Our first intention in having a YouTube channel was to share about our girls' adoption journeys, and just so many people came so intrigued with our little girls because they're precious and amazing, and so we're just making all the videos about our family, our life, marriage, raising kids, all of the things. So I'm excited to have you. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now and click the little bell so you get a notification when we upload videos. So it is the week of the quarantine of all the chaos across the world, the country. So me and the kids are inside a good bit, not traveling the roads, which is kind of nice because I could definitely use some slower pace in life. And so I figured this would be a good time to give y'all an update on Isabel. So if you don't know who Isabel is, she adopted her from China about 20 months ago. She's actually our second child that we adopted internationally. Michaela is our little girl from the Philippines that we adopted over 3 years ago. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Isabel's adoption journey video that we shared, I guess, about a year or 2 ago, then pause right there and go take a look at her adoption journey because it's going to give you a better picture of why this video is so exciting and seeing all the gains that Isabel is really having over the past 10 to 11 weeks. So Isabel, as you all know, she was extremely malnourished when we brought her home. She was 19 pounds at 5.5 years old, only bottle fed. She had never crawled, never walked, never spoken. She is blind. She is missing her left eyeball. She has some neurological challenges due to the trauma and neglect that she experienced the first 5.5 years of her life. That has really caused her little body to go into she had to learn how to survive in the orphanage that she was in. She really was not taken care of very well. So that has produced a lot of negative behaviors. And so it has taken, like I said, she's been home 20 months. It's been a long journey. It has stretched us like no other. Yeah, it's been very interesting but very rewarding and such a joy to watch her thrive and watch her do all the little things that she possibly has never experienced before. Just to recap, back in February of 2019, it was discovered she had hip dysplasia, which just means that she had shallow hip sockets. So we had a surgery done at Shriners, and they repaired her hips, formed a new socket, and all of those things. She recovered very well. After that, she still hadn't got to the point where she was wanting to walk or crawl. She's never walked or crawled. I don't think it was because of her hips. I think it was just because she was never given the opportunity. And due with all the internal challenges that she has, her body could not rest, and her body was so consumed with stimming and hitting and other things that she just had no interest in learning new things. So she healed great from February 2019 to November 2019. And then in November of this past year, I woke her up one morning and her hip, I think it was her left hip, was out of socket completely. So through a series of events, we ended up in surgery again over at Shriners, and they did a femur osteotomy. They put some plates in there. They did all kinds of things to ensure that her hips were stable, because what was happening was her hip was popping outside the back side of her hip socket. It is extremely abnormal. So in November, had that surgery that put her in a spica cast for 12 weeks. And if you don't know what a spica cast is, I'm going to post some pictures here, but it is a hard cast from her belly down to her ankles with a bar in the middle. So for 12 weeks, she was not sitting up. It was, obviously the day-to-day challenges of handling her and getting her dressed and changing her and all those things was difficult, but she really did a very great job during recovery, because leading up to that surgery, about the 7 weeks leading up to that surgery, Isabel was going through, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to call it depression almost. She has had a roller coaster ride of emotion since being home, and rightfully so. She would have about 3 to 4 weeks of being really happy and content and exploring, and then followed by 3 to 4 weeks of just crying and somber and just didn't want to do anything. So we have experienced that over the past 20 months that she's been home. But leading up to this surgery, it was terrible. She just cried a whole lot. She has a lot of stimming behaviors. When we brought her home, she bit her hands a whole lot, and we solved that problem, but then it turned into hitting in her face. And so she would hit with such force. So we technically for the past 6 months have had to control her arms 24/7, which means braces on her arms. We would have to keep a weighted blanket on her when she was laying down to keep her from hitting herself if we couldn't hold her. So it was extremely exhausting for everyone involved. But after the surgery and while she was in the cast, she was really very content. We still had to keep the weighted blanket on her. She still was stimming a whole lot, but the crying stopped. And so she was pretty happy, which was a breath of fresh air. We share a lot on social media about our journeys. We kind of share the good, the bad, and the ugly. We really want to encourage people to adopt. But with that, we know it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So we share a lot. And with that, as you can imagine, there are lots of opinions, lots of messages from strangers who are saying we should do this and we should do that. And we handle them with grace because most people are well-meaning. Some people are just ugly and think that their way is the only way. But I have had lots of people who were once strangers have now become friends through social media that have really helped in this journey with Isabel and even with Mika. I had a Facebook friend message me probably 6 months ago. It was in the fall of last year. And she told me about the Nemechek protocol. And I'm going to put all of this information down below. We're going to share links, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. And let me preface this by saying I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I am just a mother who has studied up on this method and hopes to help our daughter. And we have had great success. And so I'm just going to share with you with what I know, but please do your own research, consult with your own medical professional. And I hope I don't butcher this. But she told me about the Nemechek protocol, and I looked into it and kind of put it on the back burner because at that time Isabel was just really going through a yuck stage, and I don't know, I didn't research it very much. So we have always tried to be very intuitive with where God wants to lead us in even just the medical choices, the medical decisions that we have to make for our girls. Just pray that God will put the right doctors in our path, and that God will just kind of work within us on when we need to take actions in a certain way, when we need to take steps towards a certain method or towards medication or towards a doctor or whatever that may be. And I will say that God is very much provided some amazing doctors for us, and he has really led us, so I'm super thankful for that. So fast forward to December of 2019, I decided to start looking into the Nemechek protocol a little bit more, and let me kind of tell you what it is. Dr. Patrick Nemechek, he is the founder of it. He has about 30 years of medical experience. He was an expert in HIV research, and he came up, he formed this method to help children who are autistic, who have developmental delays, children who are even adults. This is not just for children, but I'm going to talk about children because that's who we're using it for in our family. People who have ADHD, Lyme's disease, a lot of medical challenges like that. That is what this protocol is intended for. And what it is it's using 3 all-natural products that you can purchase anywhere. I purchased mine off of Amazon. Let me say that I do love, one of the first reasons why I was even drawn to researching it was the fact that it wasn't this program that I had to spend thousands of dollars to buy into to hopefully help my daughter live a better life. I know that there are lots of great products and lots of programs out there that can help. That can help Isabel. That can help you. That can help me. But to spend bukus of money and not knowing if it's really going to work or not is always something that I struggle with. So to see that this was not a products that you had to buy into by Dr. Nemechek, but these are just all natural products that you can purchase at your local grocery store, Amazon, wherever. The products included are EVOO, which is extra virgin olive oil, high quality omegas, which are fish oils, and then inulin, which is a fiber. And so as I say, those are all natural products. We all know that these oils and olive oils and fish oils are extremely beneficial for the brain, for the mind. And inulin, fiber for the gut, is very much needed as well. What it is it's going to restore, it's going to repair, it's going to help maintain the integrity of the brain and the gut. Dr. Nemechek, there's lots of scientific study that a lot of these symptoms that autistic kids with ADHD, ADD, developmental delays, a lot of the symptoms stem from the brain and the bacteria within the gut. And so what the inulin, I'm just going to give you a short version because I'm trying to keep this video under 20 minutes. The inulin is a fiber that goes straight into the small intestine. It is not digested like most fibers are. And what it is it's going to essentially get rid of and kill the overgrowth of propionic acid that is within the gut that a lot of autistic kids and kids with a lot of the challenges I've been talking about struggle with. Propionic acid, it almost puts your body to sleep, and it causes the lack of response, maybe the lack of response to sound, the lack of response to commands. Even if they completely understand what you're saying, there's just that zombie look. Mood swings, even stimming behaviors. That propionic acid is kind of the culprit of a lot of that. And so that inulin is essentially going to reduce that astronomically. And so then of course the EVOO and the omega fish oils are going to repair the brain. It's going to repair the repair mechanism within the brain. And he also says that a culprit of a lot of these symptoms that these kids are having are from cumulative brain injuries that are over and over and over. So for Isabel, who has experienced a lot of neglect, abandonment, trauma, her brain is damaged and sick. And so those oils, those high quality oils, are going to help repair that and mend it and hopefully maintain it so that her brain function increases and becomes better throughout time. I started Isabel on it on December 31st of 2019. Noticed within a week or two, I noticed that Isabel started opening her hands more, like up underneath her blanket. If I would hand her a toy, she immediately wanted it, whereas before it was very hit or miss. Sometimes she might grab a toy and sometimes she wouldn't. I noticed she was making new noises. And I noticed like when we would start coming towards her, she would like sense it and like her little eyes would flinch, not out of being scared, just out of her body is waking up and recognizing and having more responses to the things around her. Another gain is she can now sit in her car seat without needing that weighted blanket on her.
Hair bow. Where is it? Yeah. He's so excited.
Just think if you literally went 24/7 seeing a big gray weighted blanket on your child with just their head popping up, and then you go to see them free moving around. Come on, Izzy. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Out walking with our hands, climbing on and off the couch. She's able to take a bath now, and it only takes one person. It takes myself to give her a bath because she's enjoying playing in the water again, and she's not controlled by hitting herself. So there are so many gains. I could go on and on and on. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. The other major gain that surpasses anything else except for her mood is she is not hitting herself anymore. Like, shut the front door. I think she's gone almost a month without her arm braces, which is amazing because since she's been home, she's had braces on her arms 24 hours a day. So it is so amazing to see our little girl free of the weighted blanket, free of the arm braces, free from the extreme mood swings. To see her happy 98% of the day is like a breath of fresh air. I feel like a different mama. My kids, I think, feel completely different too because Isabel is so happy, and if Isabel's not happy, no one is happy in the house. When Isabel is happy, everyone's happy. Boys are great about taking her and Michaela out on the trampoline, and she just giggles and laughs and laughs. It's the cutest thing ever. So now that it's springtime, the weather's getting better, we're able to get her out there more on a regular basis. Another big thing that happened that I haven't even told y'all about, I knew I was forgetting something. We got her hair cut. So her hair was like down to her shoulder blades, and it just was unhealthy and just didn't look the best. So we went to my sister-in-law, Jill. She cuts everyone's hair in my family, except for Stan. And so she gave Isabel her first haircut. She cut it off in a sweet little bob, and her hair looks so much healthier. It is so precious on her. It frames her face so well. So I hope that kind of gave y'all some insight onto what's going on in Isabel's little world and what the big change is, because it's pretty huge, and I do feel like it's life-changing. And if you have any questions, or if you're on the Nemechek protocol or your child's on the Nemechek protocol, I would love to hear in the comments below what your journey has been with it, whether good or bad, because I know it is kind of a roller coaster ride of a journey, and sometimes you just got to ride it out to get to the other side. So I would love to know if any of you have ever heard of the protocol. But yeah, so we're just excited to see what the future holds for her. She has really just come alive and is like a different child. Thank y'all for joining. I hope that put a smile on your face to see how well Isabel is doing. And I appreciate all of y'all joining. I appreciate all of your comments. And like I said earlier, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now. Click the little bell so you get notifications. But thanks for hanging with us, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.